Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 22nd episode of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration series. In these live streams, what I'm doing is I'm working through the bare bones configuration guides from the beginning to the end, just like you would if you went through the training yourself. And I'm configuring Dynamics 365 from scratch all the way to the end. And hopefully by the end of this entire series, which I don't know how long it's going to last, we will have the company configured, which we've done, the general ledger configured, which we've done, cash and bank management, which I made an executive decision today, we have done. I'm not going to continue on with that. And then we're going to have accounts receivable, accounts payable, products, inventory, sales, and purchasing. And maybe we'll continue on after that and move on to things like transportation management, warehouse management, and some of the other areas as well. So as I said, mentioned earlier on, what we're doing is we're going to start a new module today. So we're going to leave cash and bank management, my favorite module, and I apologize if my eyes rolled. And we're going to go to accounts receivable, and we're going to start setting up some customers, and we're going to start setting up be able to invoice and do some cool things with the customers. So with the accounts receivable, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the controls, just like you have to do with pretty much all of the systems. So to orient yourself, then what we've got is we've got now our lab environment. You can get a lab just like this for yourself if you want to go through the training. And we've got our Waterdeep trading company configured. We haven't configured any other entities at this point, but we've set it up this far. And then we've got our ledger configured. So if I go to my general ledger and look at my accounts, my main accounts, then we'll see that we've got all of our accounts configured. And then also what we've been doing over the past couple of episodes or live streams is going out and configuring the bank accounts. We've got a number of bank accounts here that are configured to either receive cash in with Faerûnian gold pieces or the Faerûnian standard dollar, depending on what you want to do. And they've all got their own bank account routing numbers and bank accounts. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to just fix something here. And the bank account number should not be that long, should be that long. Sometimes I just like to have things look tidy and look consistent in the system. So we've done that. And so let's return back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work out what we're doing next. And what we are going to do for the next 20 or so minutes is we're going to start working through the accounts receivable controls and configurations. So this is the guide that I'll be working through maybe for the next couple of live streams. But what we're going to do is we're going to start setting these up, and we need to set up our journals, we need to set up our posting profiles, and then create terms of payment for a number of different ways of having payment terms. Cash, we're going to set up some discount codes, and then also we're going to set up some payment methods and then configure the parameters. So these are all the backbone sort of codes and controls that we have here inside of the system. So let's jump to the first part, which is going out and configuring a payment journal. Now, as we've been setting this up, we've been setting up journals for different things. We've got a general journal, we had an intercompany journal, a write-off journal, and a few other items. But what we want to do is we need to set up some journals that can be used within the receivables journal. And the most important one is the customer payment, which records the payment from the customers to us. So that's how we receive in the cash in the system. So we're going to set up let me see if I've got a summary here. We're going to set up the journal, and it's going to be the customer payment journal. We're going to assign a bank to that and an offset account. And then also we're going to set up a number sequence for this, just like all the other journals that we've set up in the system. So let's return here. And even though we're working through accounts receivable, well, we set up all of the journals within the general ledger. And what we do is we go over to the journal names. And what we're going to see is here are all of our journals that we've configured up until this point. So we've got our periodic journals, our allocation journals, the general journals, and the company journals that we set up. And we want to go out and we want to create a new one. And this is going to be the customer payment journal. And we're going to call this customer payment. This journal type is going to be a customer payment. So as you can see with all the different journal types, we've got a lot of different options here, but we want to choose the customer payment. And then what we're going to do is we're going to choose the account type. And we're going to say that this is a bank transaction. And we're going to make all of these payments out of our operating account. So I've just gone and chosen my operating account here as my offset account. Now, we can't continue here just yet. What we need to do is we need a voucher series or a number series that we can go out and use for this. So I'm going to go out and open this up, and I'm going to drill into the details. So I could go into the number sequences and I could change menu items and find that, but I know that I need to change the voucher series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to that table. And that takes us to the number sequence table, and I can say I want to create a new record here, and this is going to be customer pay 01, and this is going to be for the customer payment journal. This is going to be linked to a company, and this is going to be to the Waterdeep Trading Company. And then also what we're going to do is we're going to add a constant in the middle of this, which is going to be CPJL, which is for customer payment journal. So whenever these journals get created, then it's going to be that we're going to be able to visually see and identify that this is a customer payment journal. Then also we need to make sure that this is continuous, and then this is that's pretty much all we need to do. So if I save this, it's going to return back to the number sequences. Here's our new number sequence that we created, and what I can do is I can find that number sequence here in the voucher series. So now we've created that journal that we won't use right now because we're not receiving in any payments, but it's part of the controls that we need to configure along the way. So we can save that and then go back to the main screen. So this is our customer payment journal that we've got configured. So now what we're going to do is, if as a side note, if we wanted to, we could go out and we could create multiple different types of customer payment journals. So if I go back to the journal names, I could have a customer payment journal here for escrow account. I could, for example, I could go out and just create a new journal name here, and we'll see here. Yeah, and this could be customer payment escrow, and I could go and say this is let's complete this since I've started already. So this is going to go to the bank account. It's going to be going into the our operating account, and then we also need a voucher series. So if I go into here, I could go out and create a new one. and just follow through the same process here. And say continuous, save, back, and then CP escrow, customer payment escrow. So now we've got our journal here. Also, for example, if I wanted to have another payment to another bank, because as you can see, we've got different banks here, then I could, let's say, I could go out and create another one to the line of credit. Did I set that up? And this is going to be a customer payment. And again, this is going to be for a bank. But this time I'm going to choose the moneylender account, and then I'll go out to here and view the details, create a new number sequence. This is going to be for the company, the Waterdeep Trading Company. And make this continuous. Save this, back. And now I can choose that number sequence there. So let me go back. Yep. So what this does is this allows us to have different journals with different configurations that we can go out and manage in the system. So it's a useful thing just to point out that even though I'm going out and creating like one journal, or I have in the past, or one journal for the general journal, one journal for the allocation journal, we can go out and we can have a number of different versions of these set up in the system. And I just realized that you're not seeing it, but what we did is we went out and we set up the escrow and the line of credit here, and it's all through that same process. So let's return back to the documentation and then move forward. And what we're going to do now is we're going to set up the customer posting profiles. So these posting profiles say how are we going out and when we perform a posting, then what is the general function, or how does that work? What gets posted to? What are the accounts? And we need these. We can't set up, if we don't have these posting profiles, and if we don't have them configured and linked back to, linked later on when we go out and set up the parameters, then everything sort of falls apart. It's sort of, everything just sort of breaks. So what we're going to do is we're going to just set that up, and I'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the customer posting profiles. And I'm going out and I'm just doing a search. And I'm doing a search through the menu. And here I'm saying, I know that there's customer posting profiles. I'm being a little bit lazy. I don't want to type in posting and profiles or customer. So I just did cust p pro, which allowed me to go out and find the accounts receivable set up for the posting profiles. Now, if I wanted to, I could go over to accounts receivable, and then set up and find customer posting profiles here within the menu, and it's going to take us to the same place. So what we want to do is we want to set up two posting profiles here. We want to set up a general one just for general payments, and then another one for prepayments. When we get to the parameters, it's going to have separate sections for these. Now we could use a general posting profile for the prepayments if we want, but this just allows us, this gives us a little bit of flexibility as we're setting these up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to create a new posting profile, and normally I just go gen, but I'm going to say I want to use the full word here. And now we want to go out and want to say what are the rules? What accounts do we post to for the different customers or customer groups? So what we're going to do is we're going to add a group here, and what we can do is we can say that this posting profile is associated with a group of customers or an individual customer, but right now we don't have any, so we haven't configured any of the accounts receivable. So we're going to say we want to create a general posting profile for all customers regardless. And then the summary account that we're going to use is going to be accounts receivable. And I think that is going to be account number 1300. Nope. So let's do a search as 1200. So I'm just going to make a quick online adjustment to this and fix the documentation. So again, we are going out, and this is live. We're going out and testing this, and this is one of the reasons why I'm going through this process, so that we can sort of fix some of these areas. So now that I've done that, that's all I need to do. There's not a lot we can set up, but we can have different collection letters sequences here, and we can have different defaults for different accounts. But all we need really is a summary account. That's all we need in the system. If, for example, we had later on, we had different interest codes, or we had different collection letters for different groups of customers, then we could go out and create more of these. But I'm going to create another one, and this is going to be for prepayment. Profile. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to save this, and we're going to add another group, and this is going to be for all. But for this one, we're going to choose the account, and I had 1400 here. That's not configured, so I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to post that to accounts receivable as well. So we've now got two posting profiles configured in the system that we can go out and start using. So really that's all. Although it's tax prepayment. Let's see if I've got a. Okay. Actually, for the prepayment, I've got a note here that I want to have the sales tax. Let's see if I've got other. Let's just choose the other tax payable for now. So we're going to send the tax prepayments to a different financial account in the system. So that's pretty cool. So we've gone out and we've set up the journal, and then we've set up the posting profiles. So now we're going to go, and I think we'll see how far we get with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to now set up the terms of payment, or payment terms. So the payment terms are: does the customer have to pay cash on delivery or coin on delivery? Do they get a 10-day grace period, or 1-day grace period? How are we managing the payment terms? For larger customers we work with, we may offer them a 30-day or a 45-day payment terms. For less scrupulous customers that we worry about, then maybe we want to go out and give them no payment terms at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to create some payment terms. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the terms of payment. Now, something just to keep in mind, after we finish the accounts receivable, we're going to go to accounts payable. And there's two menu items for the terms of payment. They actually go to the same, if I remember right, they go into the same table. So it's a shared table between receivables and payables. but we want to open up the accounts receivable payment terms just to be sure. So if I go over to here, I'm just looking, so it's a payment setup. Then what I can do is I can go into the payment setup, and I'm going to choose the terms of payment here within the system. So that's going to open up our screen for us that we can start setting up these terms of payment. So let's start with COD, and this will be coin on delivery. Coin because we're paying everything with a coin. We're not doing. We could do cash, but most of our customers pay in Faerûnian gold pieces, or smaller or larger denominations, just like we've set up the currency conversions. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, what's the payment method? Is there a number of days for the current week, for the current year, for the quarter, for the month, or is it net, or is it COD? So the current, if we choose the current month, which I don't think I've got some set up, but we can look at that, then what that would mean is we could say we need to have this paid by the 25th of the month. And so if they buy it on the 26th, then it will be the 25th of the next month. If they buy it on the 15th, then it will be the 25th of the current month. But again, we just want COD. And then we're going to say that this is a cash payment. And we don't have any days, and we don't have any payment terms. And the cash is going to be paid into the, let's think about this. I'm going to put this into the coin on hand account because it's a coin transaction. Then we don't need to get the banks involved in this. We can just put it into our little petty cash account. So, but if we wanted to, we could go out and we could put this into the operating account and then go out and reconcile it. But for me, I'm just going to put it into our petty cash account. So now that we've done that, then what we want to do is we're going to create we're going to create some net payment terms. And we're going to set one up, which is net 15. And this is going to say 15 days. So this is going to say that I want to be paid within 15 days of the transaction. The payment method is going to be net, and the number of days is going to be 15. And notice over here that we don't have an account for the cash to go into, or the cash account. We're going to be running through a deposit process within accounts receivable and going to the bank that we choose. And we don't have any payment schedule or payment days in this case, but we'll create another payment term that's associated with this. So on to net 15 days. So I've got one here which is net 15 days. So we can go out and set another one which is net 30 days. And then just do the same thing here. I'll create another one which is net 10. And that's going to be 10 days. And I just had a thought. I'm going to actually, I'll leave that for now. And then also what we can say is we can create another one, which is net 1. So in other words, we want the payment tomorrow, and that's what when the transactions get created, that's what's going to be. That's going to be the expected receipt date. So now we've gone out and we've created some net payments. So So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on. Let's set up just a couple of other things here for the payment terms before we finish off today. We might go a little bit longer, but what we're going to do is we're going to say we're going to set up some different payment terms, and this one is I'm going to set up a payment term based off the day of the month, and this is depending on how we want to bill. So if we want to bill on the 15th, then or have everything them paying on the 15th, then that's what we're going to set up. Or we're going to actually set up two. We're going to set up a 15-day of month and a 20-day of month. So this will become a little bit clearer as we move through. But what we want to do is we want to open up the payment days. And again, there's payment days are a configuration that's set up in accounts receivable or accounts payable. But if I go over to the menu, then we've got the payment days here. So I'm going to create a new one, which is 15 day of month. And this is going to be the 15th day of the month. So that's just waiting for my machine to come back online. Ooh, let's wait for this. So I've just got a small lag in the configuration. There, look at that. Now everything's back. So what we're going to do is say we want the payment day to be the 15th day of the month, and then we want this to be we want the week month to be month. So as an interesting thing, what we could say is we want this to be set up to be maybe the Friday, and maybe we'll set that up as well. But for our day of the month, we're going to say we want the 15th. Then I can create another one, which is 20th day of the month. And we're going to do the same thing here. And maybe let's create another one. Let's create one which is Friday. And what we're going to do is we're going to say the day of the week is going to be Friday. So in other words, we want for this payment, we want to set it up so that we can get paid on Friday. So we've gone out and we've set up these new payment days. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to create a payment term code for the day of the month. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the terms of payment, and we're going to go in here, and then we're going to create a new one, which is called day of month 15. So I'm just making sure that these are consistent. And then what I want to do is I want to choose, this is going to be for the current month. And then the payment day is going to be the 15th day of the month. So it's going to use that as the calculation. And then I'm going to create another one, which is day of month 20. And this is going to be for the month. And the payment day is going to be 20th. And then what I'm going to do let's say day of week Friday. And then what we're going to do here is this is going to be for the current week, and the payment day is going to be Friday. So now we've gone out and we've set up some different payment terms of payment here, which are date-based within the system. So that's pretty cool when we've got that set up. Now, we're going to go a little bit long today, but I want to finish off this section. And what we're going to do is we're going to create some additional payment terms or actually, no. What we're going to do is we're going to stop here, and then we're going to continue with the payment terms in the next episode, because I don't want to go over 30 minutes. 30 minutes is long enough to work through these. And what we're going to do in the next episode is we're going to work through the payment terms. We're going to create these additional, we're going to create scheduled payment terms. So what we're going to do is we're going to create payment terms that are a set amount every month. And then also we're going to create some that are either balloon or upfront payments with payments over a period of time with diminishing values. So those are going to be some additional settings that we will do in the next episode. So with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to close off here. We've talked for around about 20 minutes. As you can see, we're starting to build up the accounts receivable module, and we're going to work through these settings, and then after we've done that, probably in maybe two live streams, we're going to start setting up customers and configuring the customers and having some fun with the customers and the customer groupings and some other things as well. So hope this is useful. If anyone is interested in doing any of this themselves, then just contact us. If you want a lab environment, then we've got an apprentice program through the Patreon program. So that's patreon.com/ADND365. And we can get you your own lab environment and also access to all of the documentation as a byproduct, so that then you can go out and create your own company from scratch in the Dungeon and Dragon era, or really any era you want. If you want to do it in the Wild West, if you want to do it in the future with space trading, if you want to do it in whatever era you want, then you can do that. So just contact us, but watch out for the next live stream where we're going to continue with the accounts receivable and some of the controls in the system. So with that said, I'm going to sign off and talk to you or see you all on the next live stream.